Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for coming. My name is Father James Bissonette, and I'm the Diocesan Administrator here. And today I'm happy to announce that our Holy Father Pope Francis has appointed a new bishop for our diocese. And it's my pleasure to introduce to you Bishop-elect Michael Mulloy. And Bishop-elect Mulloy, he comes to us from the Diocese of Rapid City in South Dakota, where he's serving as a Diocesan Administrator himself right now, until they await the installation of their new bishop. Prior to that, he's served as Vicar General in a lot of other capacities in the diocese, and he's been a pastor for a long time as well, serving from 1979 to 2017 in parishes. So I'd just like to have you welcome Bishop-elect Michael Mulloy. Oops, don't want to fall. There you go. No, I won't.
Well, hello everybody, and hello Duluth Diocese. It's truly amazing. I give thanks to God for this opportunity. I'm humbled. I'm deeply grateful that the Holy Father, Pope Francis, felt that I could take on and handle this responsibility, and I think he's a wonderful Pope, and I'm delighted that I'm able to serve as one of his confreres in the episcopacy. It's an amazing thing. I've been to Duluth once before, twice, I think, years and years ago, but again, I came for Bishop Serba's funeral when he passed away last November, and one of the things, when I found out I was going to become the bishop, I went into the chapel in the chancery where I work, and one of the first people that came to my mind was Bishop Serba, and so I said, I need you to help me. And I believe he heard that, and I believe he will. So I'm also honored to be following in his footsteps, because he truly was a wonderful, holy man. I'm honored to be following in the footsteps of all the bishops who have served this diocese, and I look forward to getting to know my brother priests. I look forward to getting to know my brother deacons, their wives, and certainly looking forward to getting to know all the people of the Diocese of Rapid City, my chancery staff. I had a chance to visit with some of them today, so I'm looking forward to getting to know them and just to doing whatever it is that God wants me to do here, to lead the Diocese of Duluth for as long as that is God's pleasure in my life. So thank you for that, and I'll be happy to take questions if you have any about anything at all, I guess.
Did you ever envision the possibility that you could serve as a bishop one day? You've been in the priesthood for many years.
It was 41 in June. I think any priest thinks about this. But I mean, you think about it like you think maybe I'll be pastor of this parish or that parish someday. It never really occurred to me that I would be a bishop, and especially at this point in my life. So it was a real shock when the nuncio called and asked if I would become the Bishop of Duluth. He said, "You know Duluth?" I said, "Yes, I know Duluth." I was still trying to process, would you become the Bishop of Duluth? We kept check to make sure I knew what he was talking about. So, but no, it never really occurred to me that I would be a bishop, but not in a serious sort of way. It was just, something you think about all the time. I mean, I think any priest does. Would that be me, or how would I feel if that was me? So now I guess I know. Any other questions?
How do you plan to approach your ministry? Next level of
One of the things I realized, because I've never been here, lived here for any length of time, so one of the things I want to try to do is to watch and learn listen to people like Father Bissonnette and the staff here and the priest to learn what the church is like in Duluth, what are the gifts and blessings that God has given to them, and where is there maybe need for growth. And so I'm hoping to begin with that kind of open-hearted, tell me about you, so that together we can figure out how to forge a vision and a future for us, as a church in this diocese. And so it'll just take a little time. People oftentimes say, do you have a vision? It's like, no, I mean, I have the basic vision of being a disciple of Jesus and being a priest in the church, but how that looks and how that feels and what it means for the people of this diocese and for the priests of this diocese, I don't know. That'll take time to unfold. So one day at a time, I guess.
Having spent your career entirely in South Dakota, it is a big change. Is it exciting? Is it a little scary to step into a new area here?
You have a lot of trees here. When Jim and I were driving around, I said, like, there's like people living in there. He said, yeah. It's like, because where I live, we have the Black Hills, but I grew up on the prairie, and so trees are. I often laughingly say trees just sort of block the view. So even looking out at the beautiful Lake Superior, I want to go and say, would you cut the top of those trees off so I can see the lake? So, but in seriousness, to answer your question, I have been blessed as a little child. My family moved a lot. We moved into different houses, and my mother died when I was 14, so that was a big upheaval in our life. And I realized years later that moving isn't something that particularly bothers me. I don't, I love South Dakota. I always will love South Dakota, and I will always love the people back there. But when you hear that call and you say, okay, I'll respond, then you come and you start over and it's new. And so I'm excited to be here. Father Bissonnette just said, when do you anticipate coming? I said tomorrow, because my heart really is already moving in that direction. And because I want to be here and serve the people of this diocese as best I can. But obviously I know I need to go back because I have like 80 some messages on my phone from people that are excited, and at the same time they're sad, which I appreciate. So it's a mixed bag in that sense. But in terms of moving here, no, that's okay. I learned a long time ago that you learn to love where you are, and you learn to be happy where God places you. And so I'm not worried about that piece at all. It'll be fine and I don't care if the winters are hard, because I know they are. It's all right. I don't care. Those are things that are really secondary to being with people and serving them. So.
Is there anything that you would like to say to the parishioners of the diocese? Message? Yeah.
So far, I want to say thank you for accepting me. I felt very welcomed already, and I just ask the good Lord, and I ask for your prayers. I ask the good Lord to lead and guide me, and I ask for your prayers, the people of the diocese, so that I can truly be the shepherd that God wants me to be, and can lead the people of this diocese in a way that God wants us to go. But I look forward to meeting everybody. I look forward to getting to know the people of this diocese and the priests of this diocese and the deacons of this diocese, because it's my new home. It's where I belong. It's where God has planted me for this part of my life. And so I'm looking forward to all that I'm going to learn and all the ways I'm going to grow, and probably a few ways I'm going to stumble. But I'm looking forward to it. So good to be with you. Good to be a part of you.
Are there any saints that have particularly been important to you in your life and ministry that you lean on in your faith life?
Yeah. Of late, the Blessed Virgin Mary, and I only say of late because I because I didn't have a real good run with mothers in my life, and so it took me a while to develop that devotion. But today, when I got up, I walked outside because it was so nice to walk around the parking lot, and I really wanted to pray the Rosary and ask Mary's intercession and help. So she's important, and then of course Our Lady of the Rosary Cathedral, and I left Perpetual Help Cathedral, Our Lady of Perpetual Help. So that's important. The other saint that comes to my mind is Peter, because he opened his mouth and spoke too fast and got in trouble a lot, and that kind of resonates with my heart because I have a tendency to do that. It doesn't take me very long to make a decision. Sometimes those are good decisions, sometimes they aren't such good decisions. And so I've always had a great devotion and a great reverence for Peter. And of course he's the first pope, and he was the one that God truly formed into the disciple that he was called to be. So there's a lot of hope and comfort in that. So those would be the two that come to my mind. I mean, I read every day. I read a little reflection on the lives of the saints, and it's kind of amazing to me. We have a saint from the Diocese of Rapid City, or a guy that's in the process to be canonized, Nicholas Black Elk. In the early turn of the century, he was a catechist for the Dakota people and brought a lot of people to the Catholic faith, and I look forward to growing in that relationship with him too. So, but Mary and Peter are probably the two that touch my heart foremost. So.
It's kind of an unusual coincidence in that the Diocese of Rapid City is getting one of our priests for its bishop, and now we're getting you to come to us. Any thoughts or comments on that? As you're preparing for his ordination, and then your own?
I think God has an enormously wonderful sense of humor. That's what I think. The nuncio said, "I know this is a difficult time for you, but that's the way it goes." It's like, yeah, right. Because I'm the administrator, so I'm planning for Bishop Mulich's ordination, which is July 9th, and I got to get focused on that, and it's kind of hard, as he would probably tell you. Once you sort of say, okay, I'll do this, then everything shifts. In the meantime, you got to kind of go back and take care of business. But I think it's pretty unusual that we would end up in this kind of a swap. But so be it. It's what God wants. You're losing a good priest. I hope you're getting a good one. I think we're getting a good bishop. I hope you're getting a good one. So we'll see.
One of the texts I got this morning said, "Even Stephen, Duluth and Rapid City."
Who would have thought that we'd ever be connected like that? So, yeah. I'm also excited. In our diocese, we have 5 reservations. I believe we have the largest Native American Catholic population in the country, only alongside of, I think it's El Paso has a larger Native American Catholic population. And so, and I spent 1 year working on one of the reservations, and so I was glad when I was visiting with Bishop-elect Peter, and I said, "Do you have Native Americans up there?" And he said, "Yes, we do. We have reservations." So I was like, "Oh, okay, that'll be familiar. That'll be different tribe, different band of Indians, and anxious to learn about them, and their history and their tradition." But I'm grateful that I can continue to have a relationship, because there's something very holy about Native American people that I've experienced or been around, and so I'm anxious to see about the Native American people in this diocese, alongside, of course, everybody else. It's just kind of a special connection between Rapid City and us that I wouldn't necessarily have if I went to another diocese. So I'm like looking forward to that. We'll see what happens with that.
Really quick, there's been a lot, because of that COVID-19, there's a lot of people that still have that fear after
Yeah.
coming to here. Is there anything you want to send out to the people and the parishioners, I don't know, was comfort?
Regarding that, well, I always want to say it's real, and we can't pretend that it's not, and we have to be prudent and cautious. But I also think we really have to fight the urge to live in fear, because no matter what's going on around us, God is still in charge, and that He's allowing this experience for us is meant to teach us something. And I really think we have to look at that. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening?" or "When's it going to be over?" we take a different position and we say, Lord, what are you trying to teach us about who we are and who you are, and maybe about the frailty of our lives, about our dependence on you. And so I would just offer to people a sense of, take this is an opportunity to learn and grow and understand in a deeper and more profound way what our life is about in relationship to a God who truly loves us. He loves us more than we can even begin to imagine, and He's calling us to something. And so we listen and we try to follow as best we can. And I'm like everybody else, I'm tired of the isolation, I'm tired of the mask, I'm tired of all these things. It's like, well, part of that is a real charity for each other too. And today I met one of my staff who's related to someone who's potentially very sick or is high risk. And it's like, so for their sake, I put on the mask. For their sake, I do whatever I'm supposed to do, even though I like or don't like it. Doesn't make any difference, So, but we'll see where it takes us. October 1st, I hope it's over so we can have a big celebration. So, and that's the date, by the way, of my ordination is October 1st here in Duluth. And so excited about all of that. One of the staff said, do you have any thoughts about that? And I said, I've directed liturgies and ordinations for 30 years in my diocese. I have a lot of thoughts about that because I've done that a lot. So we'll see how it goes. It'll just depend a little bit on what's going on at that time with COVID-19 and everything else, So.
I just have you, obviously leading the diocese here, and it's got to be good to have a bishop-elect in place now, and I'm wondering just what your thoughts are of
Well, actually, I'm very happy, okay? Now, I thought the end would be closer, but October 1st works for me too, So once he's ordained and installed and is led to the chair and sits in the chair, he takes possession. Until then, I'm helping him to transition so that he can do that. And we both love the diocese, and as it happens, because of Bishop Serba's untimely death, the two of us went as diocesan administrators with the bishops of the region, the province, to Rome together. So you might notice I use a cane and I have cerebral palsy, and I yanked on his arm all the way through Rome last January. And so luckily, fortuitously, gracefully, we know each other.
Yeah,
so
we do.
then when he came here, when the nuncio called me and said, Father Bissonnette, I have a new bishop for Duluth. I think you know him. And he said, I said, yes, I do. So we're very glad to have our bishop-elect. And one of these days we can drop the elect and he'll just be our
the bishop,
and that'll be fine.
And you just have to know that it's okay to kind of move along, but ever so often I stop and I say, this is really going to happen? Because it's kind of like maybe I'm in a bad dream or I'm going to wake up or something, but no, it's really going to happen. And so every so often it catches me, and that's when I say, I really need you to pray for me, please, because it's a burden to carry, and I'm very willing to do it. I'm not afraid to do it, very willing to do it, but I know I need God's help because I know I can't do it by myself. So just keep praying for me, please, in anything and everything that you do. So that'll be helpful. Any other questions? Thank you. It's good. I hope we have a good relationship with all the media, because I think that's so important to be open and transparent. So we'll look forward to that in the future as well. So God bless. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy this day. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So
Yes.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Where did my mask go?
I don't know. Mine went down there.
No, it went down there. Where did mine go?
You did a very nice job. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, here it is.